in another life.
Welcome to the first New Tulsa Sound podcast, where we talk about the New Tulsa Sound. We've been seeing a huge growth as of late around here in music, arts, comedy. I've seen the T-shirt a few times. Tulsa is the new Austin, and we figured, well, we got to get the word out on the streets, and this seems to be the way everybody's doing it these days. Web pages, blogs and vlogs, and podcasts. So I am here with my first guest, Roger from Dixie Wrecked.
Yes, glad to be here, man. Happy to be here.
Good. That's good. I am very happy to have you. So as this is our first go-round, I'm sure it'll be a little rough, but hopefully you'll bear with us and everything will turn out okay.
Oh, it's going to be great, man. You'll be fine.
So, all right. My grandfather always told me, never trust a man who can't tell you his favorite album.
Sounds like a wise old man. So I actually kind of have a tie, and I always fear that people are going to be like, oh, you're such a hipster, because the two bands that it's kind of between, nobody really knows. One of them is Stunt by Bare Naked Ladies, which is the album that had 1 week on there. Yep.
Kicking it old school.
Yeah. All the other music I listen to, that's kind of one of those weird bands that for whatever reason, I think I was 12 when I got the album from a friend at a birthday party, and I know they're like Canadian pop music, I guess is what you'd call them, but they've stuck with me, and I have almost every one of their albums, and it all started with Stunt, and if it would have been a vinyl record, I would have worn it out, because I played it so many times. I used to just sit and play Banjo-Kazooie and listen to that album on repeat.
That is
for
the
hours.
Most 90s, like late 90s thing I can think of.
Yeah, no, I would just sit and play my 64 with that thing on repeat. If you don't happen to know who they are, you probably know one of their songs. For everybody out there listening, they've done the intro song to The Big Bang Theory. They of course did 1 week. And if you ever watched the movie Clueless, they had a song in there. So if you don't think you've known them, you probably heard them somewhere.
I think Bare Naked Ladies is big enough for people to...
Yeah, they kind of get around. The Bare Naked Ladies get around. And then the other one was Flood by They Might Be Giants.
Ah!
Yep, another one of those ones where I came across them in the weirdest way possible, too. My mom bought me the soundtrack to Malcolm in the Middle, and they had two songs on there, of course, one of them being their theme song, Boss of Me, of that show. And then I started looking into, finding some of their albums, and I think I came across Flood at a vintage stock in like the billions and billions of used records.
Right.
So that was the first one I picked out, and I loved it. And then I can't buy all of their albums because they have like a billion of them, but I do have a few things of theirs. So my two favorite records are Stunt by Bare Naked Ladies and Flood by They Might Be Giants.
Awesome. Well, it's good. At least you've narrowed it down to two, because I think we can keep you around, considering that's close enough.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a hard call because there's lots of great music out there, and I have a really varied taste, and I have all, obviously if I like the Bare Naked Ladies and They Might Be Giants, I kind of have to dig for music. Yeah, I have very varied taste, so having it down to two is kind of a bit of an accomplishment for me, I think, too.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's with some people, the one thing I hate more than anything when somebody answers that question, which of course I shouldn't ever hate someone's favorite album, but I hate when somebody says a greatest hits.
Oh yeah,
because that's not really a record.
Yeah, no, it's not. I had a greatest hits. It was Foreigner, and I like that album, I guess you'd call it, but it's not really its album on its own. It's just they pick and choose.
It's a bunch of singles.
Yeah.
It's a singles collection.
It is.
Or a record has deep cuts that aren't gonna get played on the radio.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know. Those are, I guess maybe we're both hipsters, because to me those tend to be like the best songs.
Yeah, there's definitely like some of those songs you'll never hear by the Bare Naked Ladies are some of their best ones. Or just by any. That people, when they think of the Real Big Fish, they think of either Basketball, where they heard the music on that movie, or they think of the song Beer.
Right.
But if you go through a bunch of their albums, there's a lot better songs on track 4 that you wouldn't hear on the radio ever.
Right, and I think that's true with a lot of... look at the Rolling Stones, which is a singles band. They're one of the biggest bands of all time. But if you dig into their catalog, songs that you'll definitely never hear on the radio. I mean, just off the top of my head, Moonlight Mile and Bitch off of Sticky Fingers.
Yep.
Which is, you absolutely, if it had any other title, would have been a single, but it's one of those songs that, because of its subject matter...
Yeah, in the time era.
It was not going to make it on the radio in 1971.
Mm-mm.
So it's definitely, it's good to see that there's, people out there are digging in beyond just the singles and the hits.
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way. Then I guess we're here to talk about what we're really here to talk about. You're in Dixie Wrecked.
Yes.
A band in Tulsa, part of the new Tulsa sound.
Yes.
So, man, fill us in. What got you guys together? What's the story? Where are you at now?
Sure. So I left the Navy in October of 2015 and moved back here. And between October and December, I lived with the other bandmate, Mike Meacham. And while I was living there, I got my guitar and I was playing it a lot. And he saw me doing it just in my off time, which I had a lot of it because all I was doing at that time for those 3 months was bartending. And that was 4 days a week. So I had, a lot of off time. So I'd sit there and get back to playing it. And, he heard it. He decided he needed to get a new one. He had some old electrics, but he decided to get himself an acoustic. So he started learning to play again. He used to play a long time ago. And I went to OU for 6 months and then got a really good job offer back here in Tulsa. So I moved back. And moved back in with Mike. And then, we just sat down and played acoustics all the time. And we were learning... some pretty simple songs to play with each other at different paces and rhythms, and I played a little bit of lead here and there for him. And then we went to karaoke all the time. Like, I came back almost every weekend because my girlfriend lived here in Tulsa, so I'd drive back every weekend to see her, and we'd go out and do karaoke. Well, me and Mike are just dorks in general, so every time a song came up that we could make fun of, we would. We would change lyrics here or there. We would make dirty stuff out of it. And eventually got to the point where, a lot of these songs that people are singing are pop songs or hit songs that aren't hard to play. So let's see if we can take one of these ones that we've made fun of and play it. And so I think our very first one that we ever did, we wrote in 5 minutes outside of Billy and Renee's in the parking lot on his cell phone. And it is, it was by the Four Non Blondes. God, what is the name of that song? And I said, hey, that one, everybody knows it, don't have to sing any more of that. But we made a parody about Pee-wee Herman, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And so, yeah, we haven't played that one a lot in public, so if you catch it, it's only because it was our first one. We don't think it's our best, but we'll play it every now and then for nostalgia's sake. And we decided we wanted to keep rolling with that. And so... we were sitting at Crystal Skull one night, and I had a napkin, and we had a bunch of names of bands that we were thinking of. And the one that kind of stuck out the most was Dixie Wrecked, and I had drawn like a General Lee running into a light pole. And we just loved the idea. So then we started rolling with it. It was just me and him thinking of songs that we could make fun of, and then writing down lyrics and picking our favorite ones, and then rolling with that idea. And we did it out at a bar one time, and somebody heard it. His name was Jason. He plays guitar and bass. He decided he wanted to play with us because we needed a drummer, and I had a drum set. So he joined on, and then, of course, Byron, better known as Josephus, came out and played with us for a while. He's no longer with us because he's going to do his own thing called Josephus and the Ripcords, and wish him the best of luck with that. And I want to see him do stuff in town because he's a really, really good bass player. And a good songwriter and guitarist, so I want to see him do stuff with that. But we added him, and then I don't really even remember how we got Rick to come on with us. Rick Tadnippa, or is better known as Rick Jones. I really don't know how that happened. I know we were playing. He said, "Man, that was some funny stuff, guys." And we're like, "You should come jam with us, out at the garage." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be in your band." Okay, well, that works for us, so come on in. And ever since then, it's been kind of history. We've added another member since Byron had to leave. His name's Nate Thompson. He plays guitars, drums, bass, and he's been progressing really well. I think he picked up a guitar maybe 6 months ago, and he's already wrote his own parodies, and he's getting really good. And that's how it kind of all formed, and it was... I know I hate to say it because we play a lot now, but it was really a joke. Like, we thought, for the life of us, we would play 4 shows maximum, just me and Mike on acoustic guitars. We'd get booed off the stage, we'd have hecklers, we'd have people who were like, that sucks, and we would leave, and that'd be the end of it, but we could say we tried it. And sure enough, it just kept rolling. We bill ourselves now as Tulsa's longest running joke because it's kind of true. It started as a joke over a year ago, and it just hasn't let up. And so we're rolling with it. We're having a good time, and I think that's what everybody in the band likes about it, is we don't take ourselves too seriously. We just want to go up there and have fun. Everybody gets a chance to shine. Rick obviously gets to play his solos. I'm not a bad bassist myself, so when I pick that up, I can play around on it even better, a lot better than I can on a guitar. Mike gets to sing, I get to sing. Jason plays drums on some songs, but he'll come up and play lead guitar here or there. Same thing with Nate. He'll play some lead guitar in some songs. Everybody gets a chance to shuffle around. You're not stuck doing one thing, especially if you know how to play other instruments. So it's been a weird experiment, but it's been super fun. And I'm just happy it's kept rolling. And it's gained a lot more momentum than we thought it would. We have still yet to get what me and Mike kind of dreamed of, was having hecklers. Because we're decent at roasting people, and when somebody comes up, we kind of encourage that, like, give us something to feed off of. It makes the show funnier. Because my character on stage, if you've ever watched our shows, is I get up there and I act like I'm God's gift to country music. I put on my southern accent, I've got like my Hank Williams get up going on, and I think, when I'm on stage, that I'm God's gift to country music, and if you were to interrupt my show, I'd lay into you just for the crowd to have a laugh at it.
Well, hopefully after the interview gets out here and everyone hears that, you'll just be inundated with assholes.
Right?
Just sign me up. All you had to do was say something.
That's all I had to do was ask for it.
Yeah. All you had to do was say something. I'd just like to say, having seen you guys play and played, shared the stage with you guys when we played Punk Next, you guys killed it, and I thought it was just absolutely... musically it's fantastic, but it's this great piece of performance art that you guys put together. My dad's a 69-year-old man who came up on all that original country music.
Oh yeah.
Hank Williams, Porter Wagner, Charlie Pride, Conway Twitty, all that stuff, and he was at that gig and loved it.
That's one thing we really like about it, is we've got a wide age range of people who like it, because some of our songs you'll hear are a bit newer, like our parody of Jamie Johnson. I've done parodies of Hank Williams. We've done parodies. We're working on a Garth Brooks parody. There's no timeline of the country scale or just music scale in general that's off limits to us. One of our logos says no song is safe, and it's true. We make fun of Hootie and the Blowfish, Four Non-Blondes, which is like 90s alternative, Hank Williams, or Senior, David Allan Coe. There's nothing that's off limits to us, and that's part of the fun, is taking. We're doing a Tom Petty one here soon, so. Oh,
that's gonna be. Can I ask what Tom Petty song is gonna get a chainsaw taken to it?
Free Fallin', and we didn't go for the low hanging fruit with Free Ballin', so it'll be a little bit different, and I think people will get a good laugh out of it when they finally hear it.
Okay, so see, there's some integrity there. They're striving for something a little bit higher than just what's down there.
Oh yeah,
which is what I would have done.
Yeah,
I would have just that's close enough.
Free balling.
I'll be the first to admit that. So you mentioned Rick, who is, crazy good on guitar, and I've lost count of how many people I've seen him play with at this point. What's it like being in a band with him? Because he's, at least to me, not to belay my own musical talent upon you, but he makes me feel stupid when I touch the guitar after watching him sometimes. So, how, as writing songs with him, how does that typically go?
Typically, the way it works is me and Mike write songs. Some of them are originals. We do have a few originals only because we've been challenged to do serious songs. Like, somebody was asked us if we could even write a serious song, so we did. But typically the way it goes is me and Mike kind of get the rhythm down. I I know bass too, so I add bass lines in, or somebody who wants to play the bass will fill them in. We throw the drums in there, and